Okay, we will go ahead and get going. Hello, everyone. My name is Johan, and I'm part of the team at Pond. I want to welcome you to today's vendor demo session with Carl and Julia from Giveffect. Before I turn it over to the Giveffect team, I wanted to quickly remind everyone that if you're interested in learning more about this solution, we'd encourage you to send the team a Pond message. You can do this by logging into your Pond account and then navigating to the Giveffect provider page and clicking send message. From there, you can get your questions answered or request a one-on-one meeting. And as a reminder, we'll put Pond credits in your account for every meeting arranged through the platform. Without further ado, let me turn it over to Carl and Julia for today's demo.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julia, and I'm Director of Strategy with Giveffect. Very excited to be here with Pond today and introduce Giveffect to everyone.
My name is Carl. It's going to be my good pleasure to walk everyone through, of course, what Giveffect is. As we get started here today, I always want to suggest, of course, that having a volunteer section on your website is simply not enough. But we have some tools that are available to you that will hopefully increase the capacity of your volunteer engagement today. Having said that, just a little bit about me. Again, my name is Carl Lashley. I am, in fact, a nonprofit solutions consultant with Giveffect. I have over 20 years of religious nonprofit experience, primarily in operations management and capacity management with respect to board management and resources that are available to teams who are managing nonprofit organizations. I have a particular passion and expertise as it relates to volunteer management. I'll hope to bring those to bear today in our discussion. In fact, here's our agenda of what we wish to cover here today. We'll try to make this pretty seamless and quick and hopefully engaging for you as well. Many nonprofits now struggle with a number of things as it relates to their software resource, particularly that they'll be adopting too many platforms or have lots of platforms that in fact don't speak to each other. And that will raise questions, particularly about data integrity. That will typically lead on to questions regarding missing or unorganized data. They've got paper all over the place and can't get a centralized system, of course, for that. Typically, there'll be gaps in data due to role transitions. They'll leave a team member, and that organizational history, that institutional knowledge will be lost on the exit of that person from their organization. Or they'll find that they're constantly, particularly for some of our customers prior to adopting Giveffect, constantly downloading and uploading information into their current tools. And or they'll find that they're doing lots of manual data entry and repetitive tasks. Some of our customers have reported prior to adopting Giveffect that we're spending roughly about 30 hours per month engaged in manual entry and data. If any one of these are relatable to you, I'd actually like to see you a comment there in the chat box. Maybe you have one of these that you can relate to, or maybe you relate certainly to all 5 of these. Indicate that with just a number so we can certainly engage you with respect to that. We want Giveffect for all of our customers to be a single source of truth. Our mission, of course, is to equip nonprofits with one platform that they never have to leave to manage every aspect of their nonprofit, from activities to engagement as it relates both to their volunteers, all of their constituents, their donors, so forth and so on. And we want that access visibility, of course, provided to you for all of your activities so that in the end, you are fulfilling your organization's mission to build strong communities and ultimately to grow your nonprofit. Giveffect is, in fact, a 10-in-1 nonprofit technology suite, and again, intended for you never to have to leave the platform to manage any aspect of your organization, from online donations to the traditional CRM database, an event fundraising and auctions platform, a nonprofit management system that'll allow you to do everything, of course, from user-friendly report creation, tasking amongst teams and within teams, as well as resource allocation, a membership management system to enable you to, of course, manage not just traditional memberships, but things like board memberships, committee memberships, even create giving circles and giving societies. there to, of course, help you to engage your marketing endeavors, everything from email to text messaging to direct mail pieces. There's a well screening system that allow you to screen your donors and track those moves management on your donors as well, those major gifts asks that you're making together with, of course, your grant prospect tracking as well. Website and web hosting capability, and the heart and the brains of our software is this smart automation system that allows you, of course, to get a comprehensive view of what your contacts, particularly your volunteers in this particular case, that are doing within your organization. Our particular focus here today will be on our robust volunteer management system. So why now? Why even consider the essentials of a volunteer management system? Why is it important to you as a volunteer coordinator, volunteer director? I want you to remember a few pieces of numbers here, facts here: 28% to 25%, $28.54, 11%, and 37%. In the United States, roughly about 25% of the population are volunteers, and this number certainly has decreased since the turn of the decade, when 28% of volunteers were volunteering. So we've seen a reduction in the volunteer force from 28% to 25%. This is important because we want to be able to maximize that full volunteer force that is available for our customers, that 25%. Volunteers contribute nearly $200 billion to their communities and to nonprofit organizations annually. And their labor is certainly valued at $28.54. That's equivalent to bringing on a team member to execute work that is beneficial both for your organization and for your communities. And so we want to be able to help you maximize that as well. The coronavirus pandemic, of course, has caused 11% of volunteer organizations in the US to cease operations. So we want to impart to you the tools and the resources that are necessary to fully engage your volunteer force, so you don't have to worry about being on that statistic, that 11%. And then 37%. Globally, baby boomers, of course, account for 37% of all volunteers. And this is the largest group by far that volunteers today, many entering retirement and trying to figure out what to do with their time. Many are becoming more sophisticated in the ways that they are engaging nonprofit organizations. And so we want to be able to add for our customers that high level of engagement for your organization. Many nonprofits walk with the belief, and we've seen this with some of our customers, and just in general, in my capacity as a volunteer expert here, that nonprofits tend to think that modern technologies, of course, are a luxury. And together with that, coupled with that, is the belief that I can't afford technology to run my volunteer program. The reality is, though, that volunteer management technology is absolutely a necessity. It is an added benefit to be able to quickly engage not only your volunteers, but to sign them up for volunteer opportunities. With the right partner, of course, most nonprofits can afford that. And we seek here at Giveffect to bring the technology resource that we are offering within reach of many of our customers by customizing the pricing that we provide for our customers. And certainly without volunteer management technology that is able to speak with the rest of your technology suite, you're likely wasting valuable time and missing engagement opportunities, as some of our customers have reported prior to adopting Giveffect. Essentially, we want to do three things: make volunteering easy for your supporters, increase your volunteer engagement. We want to save you certainly valuable time. So how can Giveffect's volunteer management benefit your volunteers and your team? For your volunteers, we want to make supporting your organization easy for your community. One of the ways that we propose that is to provide an easy sign-up and application process. All of our customers have and are provided with access to a volunteer calendar that they can certainly embed within their existing website and even within their other social media outreach tools here. Here's a sample of what one of our volunteer calendars will look like. It has a list of the volunteer opportunities by day and certainly by time. This is the calendar view, but by no means is this the only view that you can extend to your volunteers. You absolutely have the opportunity in creating that easy sign up and application process for your volunteers, the opportunity to do a list view. And you can list those opportunities certainly by day and by time and by the volunteer opportunity experience. Provide your volunteers with the opportunity to sign up very quickly and even an indication of the number of spots that are available for each volunteer assignment. So you may create a volunteer assignment that's got 10 slots. And as those volunteers come to sign up, of course, it'll do a countdown to the remaining slots that are available. Together with Giveffect, particularly with the calendar view, your volunteers can click into those individual assignments and get a more detailed view of exactly what the volunteer opportunity is and what it entails, what its time is and its location is as well. You do have the opportunity within Giveffect's volunteer resource management tool, of course, to require passwords. We've seen many of our customers require training prior to a volunteer engaging, certainly in a volunteer opportunity. And you can restrict that and then automate out a password for the volunteer once they've completed that training to sign up for the volunteer opportunity. As well, you can do age restrictions with respect to volunteer opportunities as well. We've seen across the board in a number of our nonprofit clients, of course, not only those that are adult age who wish to volunteer, but those that have community service requirements for high school graduation, wishing and wanting to sign up for volunteer opportunities. You can certainly enable that and even restrict that and even require a parent sign off for that volunteer opportunity if that is something that your organization wishes to execute. As part of the volunteer assignment, we do have easy sign up and an application process. And each of the fields that you see here, this is being demonstrated from the volunteer's perspective when they come to sign up in your organization. You can request as much and or as little information as you wish from your volunteer, from their contact information, their background information as well, together with other relevant contact information. Maybe you want to, you've got a bilingual assignment. You want to find out which of your volunteers has those bilingual talents and or skills, or even background skills that they may have as well. You can certainly capture that. Again, the ability to customize here in the application process, the amount of information that you wish to retain is entirely at your choice and certainly at your fingertips as well. Even request the ability to request an emergency contact information for those volunteers who will be on site, just in case there might be an accident that may happen. You can capture that information. And we do in fact provide, of course, a release and waiver liability form that your volunteers must complete before they can submit the volunteer application. You can, of course, if you have your own, upload that within our system as well. We also want to make sign up not just a possibility for individual volunteers, but I know many of you out there have corporate partners that seek to secure volunteer opportunities from you as well. We want to make their sign up and application process easy as well, such as our partner Habitat for Humanity of Kansas City is executing here as well. From the administrative perspective or from the software view, essentially, you can reserve those volunteer opportunities for your corporate partners as well at your fingertips. And there is a reservation area here within the software that allows you to make those reservations fairly quickly for your volunteers here. And of course, you can send out an immediate message, as you'll see demonstrated here in a moment, to your corporate volunteers as well. We've got a number of organizations that have got corporate volunteers like Coca-Cola, Bank of America, and I'm sure each of you as well have those opportunities. You can absolutely quickly select from a drop-down list who you're providing, of course, that reservation for. If that group, in fact, has a particular name that they wish to go by, you can secure that as well. Even reserve these particular spots immediately on your volunteer calendar here as well. And so quickly moving through here, this process of the reservation for your team. The system is highlighting for us, in fact, that there are some times that have already been taken, that have already been used. I can quickly select from the drop-down list as a volunteer coordinator within your organization other dates and times that will be available for me to consider for this upcoming group reservation. And it'll actually tell me how many spots are left for that corporate partner that I wish to secure a volunteer opportunity with here as well. I'm going to select one here for later in the course of the week. With 5 spots left, I'm only reserving 2 for our partner, Bank of America. And I'll have some options here as I'm creating this reservation. I can immediately send out an email notification to the organization, or just quickly create this reservation, and then at a later time, as you'll see me do here, send out a link that'll go to my contact at Bank of America, and they'll circulate in a moment what will appear here, that reservation list for your corporate partners to secure from their employees the times that they wish, of course, to volunteer for this particular campaign activity. It's going to highlight that here in a moment. And it's showing me, of course, the start time and end time for this corporate volunteer, the number of assigned spots that I have secured. And now I'm, in fact, going to quickly take a link that I will share with my contact over at Bank of America. As that opens up, it'll provide just a quick note, of course, to the right-hand side for my corporate volunteer, and their employees can now, the corporate volunteer, of course, can circulate this and secure their employees. I can copy the white label and embed this quickly within an email as well to my contact there at Bank of America. Great. Now, when the volunteer shows up at the volunteer site, I know many of you might be able to relate to the old school way of printing out that volunteer sheet and having that volunteer coordinator check off on pencil on that clipboard that volunteer has shown up. Well, that day has come to an end. Again, we want to provide you as a benefit a quick way of managing your volunteers. And there are a couple ways to do this within Giveffect. For each of your individual volunteer opportunities and assignments, you can create what's called a site QR code. And this site QR code will enable your volunteers the opportunity on their cell phone, iPad, or any other mobile device, the opportunity to enter the site, scan the code, check in, and when they leave, they can certainly check out. Don't worry if they forget. You do have the capability, of course, to go in and provide an edit on this as well. The other option, of course, that we provide for all of your volunteers is an automated volunteer QR code that's created for all of your volunteers. So no longer does your volunteer coordinator on site have to use a clipboard. Your volunteer coordinator as well, utilizing our event buddy, can certainly scan your volunteers in utilizing this QR code and scan them out as they arrive and as they depart from the volunteer site. This is neat in the respect that I can actually print this out and provide it almost like a membership card as well. And the volunteer can walk with that if they want to print it out. Otherwise, your volunteer can actually pull up this QR code directly on their cell phone. Within Giveffect's volunteer management system, you have the capability to create waitlists and regular volunteer shifts. So you might have those volunteer opportunities that are very popular. Those may be cooking opportunities, or maybe they want to deliver food or certainly do bag prepping. Depending on what the nature of the work that your nonprofit is utilizing, you can create wait lists now for your very popular volunteer opportunities. And we're creating a wait list now for a particular volunteer by the name of Wendell, who wants to execute at one of our schools a teaching opportunity as well. So we're going to quickly add his name and the date and time that he wishes to provide his volunteer opportunity to us. Now, again, very popular assignment. We only had 10 spaces available, and we're going to add him now certainly to the wait list. If any one of those 10 volunteers prior to Wendell were to now drop off of that list, we've got a quick way of bumping Wendell right into that volunteer opportunity. And the system can be enabled to automatically notify Wendell that he is now available to participate in this volunteer opportunity. We can create and email this notification directly to him as we're creating it, or just simply create it. And then, of course, notify Wendell certainly at a later time here. So we'll do a quick date and time reservation that we want to create for Wendell through the volunteer experience. And now that we've got that, we're going to quickly create this, and we can send off a notification to Wendell if the volunteer opportunity becomes available as well. That's the waitlist capability. You do have the ability, of course, here to create regular volunteer shifts. So you've got a regular volunteer who comes in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, provides some office time because you don't have necessarily the resources at the moment to bring in a part-time worker, and they're filling that slot in. We're going to add, of course, one of our ongoing volunteer opportunities for admin work at the location. Some unique capabilities here, just in terms of when this will start. We will start this opportunity on Saturday, August 20th here as well. We'll indicate, of course, whether or not this will repeat. Is this going to repeat forever? Will it repeat on a weekly basis, on a daily basis here for our team as well, or on a monthly, yearly basis as well? We can certainly edit that in and even select the days of the week that this volunteer opportunity will become available. We can have this repeat forever, year upon year upon year, if we wish to as well, or we can end this particular opportunity, as I'm going to do here, for the end of the month. And again, this is from your administrative perspective. So someone in the office, of course, is setting this assignment. And within Giveffect, you do have the ability to add an exclusion date. These exclusion dates speak specifically to when this volunteer opportunity will not be available. And we're going to say on Friday, August the 26th, 2022, this volunteer opportunity is not going to be available because our office is closed. And you see that being added there certainly on the volunteer opportunity as well. And that registration wait list, of course, is the opportunity for us to manually or automatically bump in Wendell should this opportunity open up that has become very popular. So quickly create that. And we have now created both a wait list and a regular volunteer opportunity shift for our organization. You also have the ability, of course, to schedule the self-management for volunteers as well. Volunteers will certainly have the opportunity to check themselves in. This is, again, this particular perspective is from your staff's perspective, where they can quickly come and, of course, check that volunteer in for the opportunity. But through our event buddy, and you can update this, by the way, for quick shift, and even have the ability to rate volunteers through the system as well. But through our event buddy, a number of our customers have kiosk stations that they have set up that allows the volunteer certainly to come into the building, locate their names on an iPad or iPod, and certainly check themselves in, as Anna is about to do. She's located her name. She's going to check herself in. And when Anna is ready to depart the physical location of your organization, she's going to check herself out as well. So opportunities for volunteers to self-manage themselves on site are a capability. The benefit is here, you are no longer distracted, of course, from the work that you might be engaged in your day-to-day task, and the volunteer can seize the opportunity of checking themselves in. Also within Giveffect, for your team, we want to make sure that the opportunity and your management is 100% paperless. You don't have to go paper anymore. You don't have to print out your volunteer applications and file them away. The system will automatically file this neatly within the volunteer profile. And here we're getting a complete perspective of all 357 of our volunteers, right down to their donations, the total of those donations, the number of completed hours, and the active assignments that we have available within our system. We're going to open up here and again, getting a detailed view, a quick summary view of each of our particular volunteers, groups that they belong to, quick contact information, and the number of volunteer hours and assignments that they've already completed. I'm going to open up here from my team perspective, Jack Larison's, of course, contact profile, and get a very quick view of what is impacted here within his contact profile. I'll get a host of information, 360-degree view of all of Jack's contact information. I'll see the volunteer application, certainly that he has completed as well, present here within his contact profile. I'll be able to get a quick snapshot of his donations that he's providing our organization as well, and the itemized donations here as well. I'll be able to take a look at his certainly volunteer opportunities that he's executing with our organization in detailed view as well. I can see everything from regular assignments, regular shifts, sweat equity hours that might be donated, reservations, and even wait lists that he might potentially be on as well. I'll also have the opportunity here, of course, to look at assignments, of course, that have been completed. And if Jack were ever wanting to get an audit of the volunteer experience, of course, that he's executing, certainly for our organization, we can quickly print that out and have that available on our organization's letterhead. We can email that to him as well, or we can even text message that very quickly to him so he has a view of that as well. We can see the full campaigns that Jack is engaged in. Certainly everything from fundraisers that he may have initiated to team events, ticketed events, auctions, products he may have purchased. We can track the interactions that we're having with Jack as well, detailed to each particular area, emails, letters, calls, text messaging, meetings here as well, forms and waivers he might be completing, members of his household as well that will become visible to us. You can track an unlimited number of households here on your volunteers as well, and even expand your view to see who is part of the household, of course, that Jack is associated with as well. Even track minors through the system that are presented in that red icon view here as well. Great. And each of the household members do and always will retain their own individual contact profile so that you can track your level of engagement. You don't have to worry about compounding that. Track memberships, of course, here as well. Track your development opportunities, everything from your moves management on Jack, the ask that you might be making. These might in fact be monetary and or volunteer hours that you're asking as well. Track those on him as well. With respect to your organizational contacts, you can track grant prospects, get well screening information on him as well, track what your ask may be, and even resources within the organization that Jack might be utilizing here as well. So you do get a 360-degree view of all of your supporters. You no longer need any paper to track that there as well. For your team as well, you can personalize reminders, thank you emails, and volunteer opportunities here as well. So when your volunteers come to sign up for volunteer opportunities, here in our volunteer management system, we will go into our email rules system. These are automated email rules that will go out to your volunteer to indicate their upcoming assignments. What is the benefit of this? Again, you are not losing time to have to send out these automated reminders. You're setting these once you create the volunteer opportunity, and you never have to go back to them. The system will in fact personalize utilizing replacement variable fields to remind your volunteers about their upcoming opportunities that they've signed up for. Thank you for volunteering as well. Great way, of course, for your volunteers, of course, to get this information not only within their native browser, but as well on their cell phone. And we can even schedule out reminders a couple of days before the volunteer opportunity as well. I'm going to open one up. And again, this is from your team's perspective, managing this particular volunteer opportunity, such as a 2021 food sorter was an example here that we used. I'm going to pop that open here so that we can see the capability of editing this information here. And I can generate a thank you message and use my replacement variables here to personalize the message that I'm sending to my volunteer about their scheduled upcoming opportunity. I do have the ability to add this respective rule for a unique volunteer opportunity, or essentially for all of my volunteer opportunities. So if you want to craft a specific message for a volunteer opportunity, you can certainly do so here within the system. So again, we can send this before or after, and then set the number of days that we wish to have this notification go out. Maybe 5 days before the assignment, 10 days before the assignment, 2 days before the assignment. You have the ability, of course, to set that as well. And again, pointing out those replacement variables here for the system. Also, these reminders can be set for waitlist as well. And what you're seeing here is the sign up, thanking your volunteer for participating in the upcoming volunteer, the opportunity that they participated in. Again, craft these uniquely for a specific volunteer opportunity, or you can use, as this particular email rule used, a generic thank you that will go out to all of your volunteers, regardless of the volunteer opportunity that they've volunteered for. And again, we're using our replacement variables here to personalize the message to your volunteers. Great. So sign up, thank yous, and scheduled opportunities are, and even for your wait list, you can do the same here for your reservations as well. When we're speaking about the corporate reservations that are available to you as well. In Giveffect's volunteer management system, you do have the ability to do group and conduct group segmentations, excuse me. If you see here in the center area, there are a number of groups that have been identified. We can specifically run a report, maybe based on the number of volunteer hours that they've completed. We've created such a volunteer group here called committed volunteers that have completed roughly over 200 hours so far with our organization, and we've grouped them now in a committed volunteers area, and we might want to generate a particular appeal to this particular group. I'm in my groups management area, and I'm looking specifically at my committed volunteers of 7, and I can see who all the 7 are. And now I have the capability to communicate directly with this particular group of volunteers here as well, my committed volunteers list again. And I can communicate with them, as you'll see in a moment here, either by way of email and or text message without ever having certainly to leave the system. Also for your team, we want to ensure that you have easy follow-ups through emails and text messages and surveys as well to your volunteer. And again, these follow-ups can certainly be conducted, as has already been pointed out, through those emails and text messages, which I'm showing here, not just to your groups, but all of your volunteers. Quick and easy follow-ups, both through emails and or text messages. And if you want to create a volunteer newsletter as well for your volunteers, with a click of a button right here, you can generate those newsletters as well. I'm in fact going to quickly click on a button here. Again, this is from your administrative perspective. Your team members are conducting this quick follow-up that will be executed here. And now I'm seeing all of the volunteers that I'm going to email, and I can choose to either just opt in those that have selected to receive an email, or opt them out. And of course, here I have the ability to just quickly select all of my volunteers. I can set my team member who will be responsible for handling any responses that I get back from my volunteers here as well. You can use a general info email, as some of our organizations do. And then I'll set a subject line for the quick email follow-up that I do want to produce. And my quick email subject line will be, "We need you," here in 2022. Again, we're creating this utilizing replacement variables to speak specifically to our volunteers, so that when they receive this, it will feel very personal to them as well. And I can send this now or delay sending this for a later date and or time. Benefit is, again, here I'm saving time. And here's my text messaging capability. I can quickly text message all of my volunteers. I don't have to draft a contact list for volunteers here as well. And I'm going to create a quick text message campaign to my volunteers here. And what is the particular use case scenario here is a storm is imminent in our area. And I need to remind all of my volunteers, or inform my volunteers very quickly, that our events, voluntary events for the day, have been canceled. And so I will quickly do that here. I've created this group, remember, called Committed Volunteers. Well, I can just quickly type in this particular group of 7 or speak to my entire organization just by simply typing in, of course, the name of the volunteer group that I've selected here, and then generate my message and use any replacement variables so that when they in fact receive this text, they are going to in fact receive a very personal message as well. You saw me click on this all contacts with mobile numbers button. This is a quick way, instead of having to type in everyone, I want to notify everyone within my organization that all events have now been canceled as well. And I use replacement variables to make this speak very specifically to my volunteers. You can certainly create, from the team perspective again, easy follow-ups for your emails, text messages, and what we're going to show here is surveys. I can quickly generate a form and a web form with a URL and ask as many questions as I'd like to on this particular form, which you're going to see me open up here from a team perspective. And I can generate my forms and even add the fields here. File attachment is one. So if you want to upload those COVID test forms, you can as well. And then I can quickly organize my data either in graphic view or according to the respondents that have replied to that message as well. All the information that's entered into the system is automated. Those who are joining us today, how many hours have you spent? Countless hours uploading information from an application form that's been completed by a volunteer. That has come to an end. Your volunteers are now providing the information that's going to be used to automatically enrich and create their contact profile. That volunteer application that was just completed by Wendell, when he clicked that submit button, that information was automatically inputted directly within his contact profile under his volunteer application area. I'm going to quickly highlight those areas here. And those are all the fields on that volunteer application that was certainly updated. In Giveffect, you never have to lift a finger to provide information within the system. The system will smartly capture that and update that information for you as well. In Giveffect also, you have the ability to get precise reporting. Create as many reports as you'd like to, customize those reports as well, whether we're talking about a specific system. Here in the volunteer system, we're going to create a quick report of all of our volunteers that have availability, where it's just present. Moving forward, I can specify as many filters and rules as I'd like to. As well, in my automation of this particular report as well, I can have this report emailed out, let's say starting today, maybe on a monthly, weekly, daily basis to my respective team members, myself and any additional volunteer coordinators, so that as they're managing the volunteer opportunity, they can quickly pull this report as well. And I can name this report so I don't have to worry about coming back and rebuilding this report. And then even within the reports tab, you have some prepared reports that allow you to look at volunteer assignments, of course, that have been completed as well. Again, here you have the capability to look at maybe a particular volunteer assignment and build out the filters of this particular assignment that you wish to look at or have this report generated for. Set your filters. There are robust rules and logic as well. Have these reports emailed out to your team members so they don't have to come here and have these reports pulled each and every time, automated out to our team members here. And we're going to save this. So if we want to come back and add any additional filters, we can. And then we can also indicate what fields we want indicated here on this particular report. And beautiful thing about this is Timmy has completed a number of assignments here. We can see the end date and start time of this, and I can quickly communicate with him again by way of email and or text message based on what I might view here on this particular report. Again, we want to make Giveffect your one source point of truth here. And what we're providing, of course, is a single platform so that you don't have to identify and adopt these multiple tools. Use Giveffect specifically for your volunteer management team and to manage your overall organization. We want you to win with Giveffect. And then we want every one of our customers who choose us at the end of the day to win. And so because we know that you want the best, we want you to partner with the best. Your other options, of course, are going to provide you with many different tools. You're going to have to use Microsoft Excel sheets, as many of our customers report. Some of our customers report that they have to hire consultants or they have to hire part-time employees. Can you relate to this? If you can relate to this, type that into the chat area. We'd like to hear from you as well. But with Giveffect, you're going to get a proprietary technology that's been built in-house that has content-specific volunteer data entered straight into your contact relationships management system. You're going to get a nonprofit experience team. Giveffect only hires those that come from a nonprofit background. You're going to get access to hundreds of data points from many different views within the software here as well. You're going to get focus on your customers and not just on numbers here as well. You will be important to us. Precise reporting, and at the end of the day, you'll know we practice what we preach. The Giveffect way is that we value transparency in our teamwork. And so we want to surround you with a very supportive team from our leadership all the way down to your account executive who will work with you on a day-to-day basis as well. We want to surround you with chat support, email support, phone support, regular office hours, and webinars on a regular and consistent basis to continue to educate you and to provide the support that you need. Here are some of the clients that have chosen to adopt us and who continue to experience success and for whom we've had the great privilege of helping to make a difference. We've got a case study here from No Limits for Deaf Children that was using Giveffect. They had 8 different systems to manage their organizations. Their systems didn't speak to each other. It did for them cause wasted time and included lots of manual entry. They needed a solution, of course, to help their organization move very efficiently. What they experienced with Giveffect was an increase in fundraising revenue by about 285%, an increase in volunteers by 208%, and they saved roughly over about 35 hours monthly on Giveffect admin tasks. Another is, in fact, Unicorn Children's Foundation that were using 5 different systems. They struggled to collect and report the full view of their volunteer engagement and their donors. And that was hindering, of course, the way that they were engaging their board members, their volunteers, and their donors. They chose to use Giveffect, and they too experienced an increase in revenue by 192%, an increase in their volunteer force by 176%, and saved 40 hours of manual entry with Giveffect. And one last one that I'll share of the many ones that I could share is Habitat for Humanity of York County. They, in fact, were using lots of different systems. They had experienced an 85% decrease in volunteering while still having a number of projects to complete. They absolutely needed a better way to sign up their volunteers and to track their activity. York successfully, of course, adopted Giveffect and our CRM and saw, even through COVID, an increase in their volunteer force by 25% and a 235% increase in fundraising revenue and 40 hours a month with respect to their admin tasks. These are very real world clients for us. We're proud of the success and the way we've been able to make a difference for them together with FoodLink and others. But absolutely, we want to provide you with a single point of truth, and we hope we can certainly make a difference if you consider taking a look at us. I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Carl. And we had one question. John, do we have a minute to answer the question?
Sure, of course.
Carl, we have one question in the chat. If you can see, is there a background check feature?
Yeah, so there is a background check feature within the software itself. Let me open up the our software for you here. And typically when we come into the software area of the platform, of course, you'll come into your login area here. I'll quickly log in. And for your volunteers, particularly within the CRM, you do have some screening checks, of course, that you can go through with respect to each of your volunteers. I'm going to open up Wendell's contact profile very quickly. And you'll note very quickly in Wendell's contact profile, there will be a screening section with respect to Wendell's volunteer background area. First, his volunteer status will be indicated as well. And then, of course, the police check and whether he's been screened or not which will allow us the opportunity either to open up that volunteer experience to him and or not. I can individually edit the screening check. Maybe I'm doing 10 per day, and I want the opportunity, of course, to do that screening check as well. If the police check has been done, I'll absolutely sign off on that. If the offline waiver has been complete, I can check off on that as well, together with other sources of information that I want to add on. But there is absolutely a check process that you can go through for your team members. So I hope that was helpful and resourceful.
Thank you, Christine, for your question. Thank you, Carl, for clarifying. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Giveffect, it was a pleasure for us to be here today, and we are on the pond, so please feel free to contact us through the message section on the pond.
Great. Thanks, Yulia. Thanks, Carl. Anyone, if you want to send a message to Yulia, I just dropped their the link to their Pond profile in the chat. You're also obviously welcome to reach out to any member of the Pond team if we can give assistance as well. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.